Irnieracing News, August 4th, guys. We're going to go over the recent news about Sophie Trudeau evaded Conflict of Interest Act disclosures. So this is a story by Western Standard. We're just going to kind of go through the news together so you guys can just listen as you're driving to your work or to the beach. So here we go. Due to a separation agreement with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau is exempt from Conflict of Interest Act disclosures. So why is this topic jumping in? Why did they make an announcement about a legal separation when it has been known that they've been sort of separated or not getting along and have some sort of separation for multiple years? What is the scapegoat? Why are they throwing themselves into the limelight? What makes it worth it for them to do these posts to then have all the hate coming towards Trudeau and the questions about what are they really hiding? What is behind all of this? So now this is starting to come to light, the conflict of interest. We already know Trudeau has broken conflict of interest and got caught for it twice. We know a whole bunch of his cabinet has been breaking conflict of interest, and several of them, was 4 instances lately that were caught for it in the last, year or year and a half. So conflict of interest goes hand in hand with the Liberals and hand in hand with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal cabinet and him. He sets a good example that you can get away with the conflict of interest. Don't worry. Worst case, we'll shuffle the cabinet. So last year, Sophie registered a new federal corporation to offer communications services. Gotta love that quote, guys. What is the actual product? Is this a Ponzi scheme again? Because if there's no communication services, were always the title of Ponzi's. Invest your money, invest your money, invest your money. Well, what's the actual product? Oh, we offer services. Just throwing in some humor in there, guys. Sophie and the Prime Minister have signed a legal separation agreement. So that's what this is all about. There's actually a legal separation agreement which then prevents her being essentially indicted or having to register the Conflict of Interest Act disclosure. She does not have to disclose anything. They have worked to ensure all legal and ethical steps with regards to the decision to separate have been taken. Under the Act, disclosure is mandatory for a person who cohabitating with a public office holder in a conjugal relationship. However, no disclosure is required for a person from whom a public offense holder is separated if all support obligations and family property have been dealt with by a divorce decree or separation agreement. A separation agreement or a court order is required, said Melanie Rushworth, spokesperson for the Office of the Ethics Commission. There you go. According to BlackRock's reporter, the PMO did not provide the date when the separation agreement between Justin and Sophia was signed. However, on April 6, 2022, Sophie Trudeau registered a federal corporation at Aust Legal, a Toronto law office. So we could assume that this is over a year ago. It's 2023 now. They've probably signed this separation agreement quite some time ago. Under Your Light Communications Incorporated provides communication services, and Sophie is the sole director. Of course, congratulations, Sophie. Previously, Sophie had been a paid speaker with Speakers Spotlight of Toronto, which is a talent agency of the Trudeau family. In 2022, the talent agency informed the Commons Ethics Committee that it had destroyed accounts documenting talent fees paid to Sophie before 2013. Destroyed the documenting. Interesting. It should be noted that Sophie and Justin Trudeau got married in 2005. Sure, good thing. Before the We Charity received a federal grant of $43.5 million in 2022. According to records, it was discovered that the We Charity provided Sophie with talent fees, gifts, and expense-paid trips in London and New York amounting to $25,681. The grant was withdrawn after it was discovered that the We Charity paid $471,751 in fees and gifts to the Trudeau family, which included the Prime Minister's mother and brother. Almost $500,000, guys, to the We Charity by the Trudeaus. Our government money, because they're not paying taxes. They're suckling at their own taxes and making everybody else suckle at the teat of the Trudeau teats of the government, communist, fascist collectivism. They want everybody on the government teat. You will own nothing and you will be happy suckling at Trudeau's government teat. And then they can turn off the teat at any time they want. So, continuing. In July 30th, 2022, testimony at the Commons Finance Committee, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said he knew that my brother and mother had worked with We Charity, end quote, but was unaware of the details. Quote, I did not know how much work either of them had done with We Charity or how much they had been paid, end quote, testified Trudeau. During earlier testimony at the Finance Committee, Craig Klellberger, co-founder of We Charity, denied that the organization wanted any favors in exchange for hosting Sophie. Quote, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau is more than someone's wife, end quote, said Klellberger. Quote, we live and engage with individuals on the merit that they bring themselves as individuals, end quote. For disclosure purposes, MPs are required by the Office of Ethics Commissioner to update information about their marriages in their files regularly. The then Attorney General David Lametti wrote a July 10th note to his file that, quote, despite, quote, reasonable efforts to determine my spouse's private interests, I was unable to obtain any such information, end quote. Wow. So Genevieve Samiri, Lametti's wife, is a law professor at McGill University. In 2021, Lametti took her name off a list called the Public Registry of Designated Travelers for MPs' Spouses. And that's the article, guys, from Western Standard. So thank you very much, Western Standard, for the information. For us newbies coming on to this, this topic of interest, there's more articles from Toronto Sun that I could read. If you guys are interested, let's take a look. Okay, so here's a similar article, possibly on the Toronto Sun from 19 hours ago. Again, from August 3rd. It's a 1-minute read. Here we have our two stars, two captains of the ship. The soon-to-be ex-Mrs. Justin Trudeau is exempt from Conflict of Interest Act disclosures under her separation agreement with Prime Minister, according to BlackRock's reporter. Let's get rid of this ad. Sophie and the Prime Minister have signed a legal separation. Yes, they've worked to ensure all legal. Okay, we've already gone over. Okay, I just read it. There's nothing new here, guys. It's just a much shorter article. So we're going to leave it at that. This is Irnieracing. Anyways, guys, this is Marcel with IrnieracingNews. Thanks for paying attention. Onward and upward. Stay good. Stay fit.